This is the outside of the 2021 Auto Sleeper Fairford Plus. As I move along, I will firstly come to the LPG fill point. Push in and twist to remove the dust cap. Our UK filler nozzles just slide directly over this, and then it's just a matter of pulling a lever around and then pulling that lever towards you to lock it onto the side of the van, and then just press a button on the pump to put in as many litres as you want, or just wait until it clicks off exactly the same as a fuel pump would. This middle section here is to screw in the continental adapters. To see how much gas is in the gas tank, you just need to go to the driver's side, and the gauge is just here. This can only be viewed when the engine is running, and you'll get a series of green lights, and these will go out as the gas is used. Mains hookup point just here. Just remember to also push down on the blue lever as you remove it. See, we have a sticker here that says gas emergency control. So the gas tank sits directly underneath the van, but it's actually easier to get to it and isolate it from the other side, because you do not then have the exhaust in the way. So I will show you in a moment when we get to the other side. Fresh water tank fill just here. You can either just use a standard hose pipe with this one here. You'll see that the cap locks. Literally just pop your hose pipe in to fill up the fresh water tank. Or alternatively, you can use the whale filler point. The whale filler hose looks like this. Standard hose lock attachment on one end, and then this end here just plugs into the side of the van, locks into place, and then just slide this section down to lock it in. Then all you need to do is just turn the tap on, make sure the 12 volt is turned on inside the van and that you have activated water fill, and then it will then fill up the fresh water tank. The beauty of this particular hose is that if you're on a fully serviced pitch, you can literally just leave the tap turned on, and as you are using water, it will just constantly replenish the tank. To remove it, just lift up, push in on both blue buttons, and then just pull towards you. External TV and satellite points just here, and there is also a 12 volt socket in there as well. Fresh water tank drain just here, and the waste water tank drain just there, and above them is the location of the toilet cassette. To remove the cassette, just lift up on the blue lever just here and then pull towards you. Before use, remove the blue cap and add your toilet chemical with a small amount of water. This is also where it empties from. Just remember that when you are pouring it away, to just hold the blue button in here to release the vacuum inside. It is also a good idea to keep this seal lubricated. Fairford do their own seal lubricant, but any silicone based lubricant is fine. And by turning this section just here, allows access inside the cassette for cleaning. If any debris was to wrap itself around the float mechanism inside, which will then give you a false reading that the cassette is always full, you can also remove it and clean it. All of these cassettes are now on wheels with a pull-up handle. As we come to the back of the van, we have the flue for the space heater and the flue for the boiler. You do not need to do anything with these, but just try to avoid obstructing them. The spare wheel just sits here and it winds down at this point here. So in the jack and wheel brace kit, there's a bar that goes in where my finger is. Attach the brace to it to wind it down. There is an air line running from that spare wheel, and the valve is just here, so you can check the tyre pressure and top it up if required without having to lower it. As we now come round to the rear, we have the reverse camera just up there, and we also have the awning light just there, and then we have the 2-lay bike rack. To use this, just pull the bar towards you and the rails will then drop down. These can then slide to get into the position that you require, and then secure these straps through the wheels of the bikes. This section here, just undo and pop the bar up, and then you can take the bars and pop them into place around the framework of the bike. You can see that these can be locked on, so no one can steal your bikes, and whilst in the locked position as well and in the closed position, these can also not be removed off this bar as well. Do make sure that before you put the rails back up again, that these are slid back across out of the way. Rear entry just here. You can fold the doors further out on these buttons just here. Do not do it on this door here, or otherwise these will then crash into the side of the van, causing rather large dents. External shower point just here. So if we take the end of the shower hose and then just plug it in, and then we can then turn it to lock it in. And as you can see, if you have hot water on, it is mixable just by slightly turning, and as long as the water pump is on, it will then automatically go under pressure. To remove it, just turn again and then pull towards you. As we now come round the other side, we have the external barbecue point just here. You'll see at the moment that the actual barbecue adapter is still attached on a cable tie, so firstly remove this, and then pop the hose of the barbecue on this rib section just here and secure it with a Jubilee clip. This end here will then plug in and lock into place and allow you to turn the gas on. To remove it, just push on the collar, push it up, and it will then release itself. Fridge vents just here. Again, try to avoid obstruction and spraying too much water at them when washing the motorhome. This particular model is fully winterized, so you are supplied with 2 winter covers for the fridge vents. So if you are using the motorhome in extremely cold climate, what you can do is pop both of these on and just literally start at the bottom and hook it on, and then just clip it at the top, and then do exactly the same again with the second winter cover. You'll then see that the fridge is only venting from the lowest point just here and just up here as well, thus holding some heat in and running efficiently in very cold weather. Do make sure that they are removed in the warmer months of the year, or otherwise the fridge will just overheat and not run. Electric step just here. This operates on the button just here. This will also automatically put itself away when the engine is started, but I always suggest that you do make sure that it has. Switches above it, this one here is for the awning light on and off, and the one beside it turns the low level LEDs off. So up the top here we have the Omni Store and two-lay roll-out awning, and we then have another one at the rear as well. To wind these out, take the awning winding handle and then pop it into here, and then begin to wind to bring it out. As you can now see, I've wound the awning out a short distance. I always do this and then drop the legs to give the awning some support before I bring it completely out. The legs are sprung loaded, so just push in and it will then release itself. Then drop it down to the ground and then get the awning at the height you require, and then lift up the grey lever and lock it into place. Then do the same with the other leg, and again drop the leg down, get the height you require, and then just bring up the grey lever. Once you've done this, you can then continue to wind the awning out, walking the legs out as you go. As you can now see, the awning is fully wound out, and with this particular awning you have these strengthening bars just here, which can just come across and then just slot and lock into place just here. And here. Do make sure that the awning is not left out in high winds, or you do run the risk of it just being flipped up over the top of the motorhome. With the rear awning, so if I now just take the awning winding handle out, if it does get stuck in, all you need to do is just push it in towards the awning, twist and then release. If I now come around to the back, again same design, just lock it in and then start to wind the awning out. And because of the size of this particular awning, no legs are required, so it's just a matter of winding it out. The awning light switch is just here. To isolate the gas tank, if I now just go underneath, you'll see the front of the gas tank just here. If I now just pull the lever, I can remove the front, and then the isolation tap is just here. Just turn it to isolate it. The regulator is just here, and it's fitted with a crash valve just here. These can sometimes be also triggered if you go over a bump quite violently. So if you are not getting any gas into the van, there is a green button just there. Just push this in and hold it in for about 5 seconds, and it will then reset the crash valve. Diesel fill just here, and the cap unlocks on the ignition key, and we have AdBlue top up just here. It will let you know on the dashboard when your AdBlue needs topping up. Tyre pressures on the door pillar just here, and then we have the rear air suspension top up just here. As you can see, they're just standard valves, so it can be pumped up using either a hand pump, foot pump, or a compressor. The rear airbags look like this. And as you can see, you can inflate them anywhere up until before the red point just there. It is just dependent on the load you have and what comfort you desire. Do not touch these two parts here. They are set up by the workshop. Jack and wheel brace kit just sits underneath the passenger seat. Vehicle battery sits underneath the floor of the cab, and bonnet release is just here.